Hey guys, welcome back to the Ad Lib Podcast. Today is episode number 89. I hope all our viewers and listeners are doing well. Today is a very exciting day. First of all, as you might notice from above Franco's head, we're actually using a different app to stream. It's StreamYard. Basically, I'm trying to find a free solution to streaming a podcast live. And hopefully better quality, because I was noticing the audio quality from the previous streams was not the best. So today we'll test StreamYard, see how it goes, and hopefully it goes well. But it's a very customizable app from what I can see, and it seems convenient as well. Anyways, and with me is Mr. Franco Rizzo, streaming also on Twitch. How's it going, Franco?
It's doing good. It's doing good. I'm been very happy. I just stopped yapping about Malta, and now we're going to go into movies. And it was a very interesting conversation. Lots of many people interested about Malta, and they want to know about all the things that happened about the pastizzi. Apparently, we have a big order of pastizzi. Andrea, how are we going to solve that? We're not pastizzi.
Ooh, I'm not the biggest fan of pastizzi. Actually, today I had two pastizzi today at work. Basically, today was the first day back at work because I'm a teacher. So the summer holidays are over, and I was back. And after our meeting, our headmaster prepared some food from a caterer, and obviously one of the options of food was pastizzi. I was very hungry, to be honest, because I didn't have time to have breakfast. I just had my usual protein shake. So, I mean, whatever. I'll just have one or two pastizzi. Actually, we're quite good, to be fair. I haven't had pastizzi in ages. I'm a very health conscious guy, so that's one of the reasons why I try to avoid pastizzi as much as possible. To be honest.
Yeah, they're the cheapest option, especially if you're in a bind, and they are a little bit. They're oily, they're unhealthy, and they're the most common, the food that is found most commonly in tuck shops around schools in Malta. But anyway, enough about pastizzi, and there's a much more important question. What is the Ad Lib Podcast all about, Andrea?
Very, very good question, Franco. So the Ad Lib Podcast, all about movies, all about series, and we forget this at times, but also sometimes about video games. Unfortunately, we do forget about this. But we are streaming on Twitch now as well, so video games should be a more important topic, to be honest. And today we've got lots of different movies and series to talk about, lots of reviews as well. Let's get into them. First of all, we've got the trailer for Mickey 17. I've been really looking forward to this trailer. Bong Joon-ho joining up with Robert Pattinson. That's a beautiful, beautiful combination. I'm so excited to talk about that trailer. We've also got a trailer, Franco, I don't know if you got to catch this, but The Platform 2. And again, I don't know if you watched the first Platform.
Oh no, I haven't watched the Platform. No. Oh, there's going to be a sequel.
It's this is also now apparently also quite a political stream. so The Platform 2, the Platform was a very political movie on Netflix. And very enjoyable movie as well. So we'll be talking about The Platform 2 here as well. Then we've got a trailer for a very interesting looking film, Small Things Like These, which are open in the Berlin Film Festival to quite a lot of praise. Starring the amazing Emily Watson and, of course, Mr. Cillian Murphy, Academy Award.
The one about the Magdalene sisters, right? I saw that trailer. It looked interesting. Yeah. By the way, hello, Yella. Yella, the people from Twitch are also watching you. Yella's a very well-known illustrator. She also used to work with Cartoon Network. So find her on the Instagrams. And she's following us from the UK.
We need to have her on the podcast again, to be honest.
Yes, for sure.
Maybe we'll plan it when like a big animated film comes out and we can talk about it together. I think that would be great.
Is there any new animated film? Transformers 1, maybe.
Transformers 1. True. We could do that. That's coming out soon in Malta. We also have some. Oh, yeah. Like
she's in Malta. Okay. Nice. Because of the exhibition.
Maybe we can get together then. Maybe meet up.
That's why it's raining. Yeah, she brought the weather with her.
Anyways, we've got also a couple of other trailers which just released today, just like an hour ago. I was looking at my phone, and first, the Gladiator 2 trailer popped up, a second one. I'll just give a quick comment about that because obviously we've already commented about the first trailer, but This second trailer is much, much, much better. I'm much, much happier with it,
Oh, okay.
although I
No,
still have some issues.
no rap song, so then.
No, no, no. And surprise, surprise, we also got the trailer from, I don't know if you noticed this, but the trailer for Thunderbolts. Now, for our Twitch viewers, because I'm sure all our YouTube viewers know this, we are not the biggest fans here of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, okay.
But we do have a trailer for Thunderbolts, and I really am loving the cast. And we'll be talking about that trailer as well.
Oh, we
Now
lost,
we
we
have-
lost, we lost, we lost all the viewers because we are Marvel haters. Oh shit!
Oh,
What did you
no,
do to
everyone's
me?
leaving. Shit.
No, no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, we're not Marvel haters, to be honest. And you'll notice we're not Marvel haters with one of my reviews, because today I will be reviewing Agatha All Along, one of the series we will be reviewing. We will also be reviewing the first episode of The Penguin. Franco, you also got to watch that. Then, like I said, I'll be reviewing Castillo, which I don't think you watched it, right, Franco?
No, I didn't. I didn't manage. I only managed to watch the first episode of The Penguin because I was preparing for Twitch stream. But I will try and make sure to go watch it and also watch The Substance as well, which you also watched, right?
Yeah, because apart from Castillo, I will also be reviewing The Substance. And, Franco, I forgot to tell you about this movie, but I watched it, I think, Friday evening, and completely forgot to tell about you. History Daughters came out on Netflix this week,
Yes,
this
yes,
weekend.
yes, yes.
Written and directed by Azazel Jacobs. History Daughters is, wow, what a film. I'll be
Okay.
reviewing it later on as well. Amazing cast as well. Carrie Coon, Natasha Lyonne, Elizabeth Olsen. Amazing cast. Really, really good cast. So,
No, very,
I'll
very
be-
stacked cast. Stacked
yeah,
cast.
yeah. It's good stuff. And then there's a surprise appearance of an actor. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. I can't spoil it. Again, viewers and listeners, if you haven't watched any of these films, don't worry. We will not be spoiling them. Actually, maybe we'll spoil the series a little bit because it's a little hard to talk about the series without like fully, I mean, at least mentioning some details here and there. But with regard to the movies, we will not spoil anything. Don't worry. We've been doing this for a long time. This is the 89th episode of the Ad Lib Podcast. So, yeah. So, viewers and listeners, please leave a like if you're enjoying the podcast. Please make sure to subscribe both to Franco's Twitch stream, The Maltese Leftist, and also subscribe to the Ad Lib Podcast on YouTube. Join
And
us on
we,
both.
we also tell our listeners and viewers to comment on which movie did you watch recently, or maybe if we missed a good trailer that we should watch on the podcast. So leave us a comment or leave us a chat. Basically, again,
Exactly.
we don't bite.
No, we don't. Franco, do you want to get into what you've been up to this week?
Like I said, actually, I do have something. I finished filming the short movie, and I show what I posted on because I filmed in my house in my parents' bedroom. Thank you for my parents for letting me use the parents' bedroom, and I actually posted this on my. Let me see if I can post it properly. It's being
Yeah, it's clear, Franco.
okay. So basically,
about
I
it.
posted this on my door and said, if you hear screaming, don't worry, we are filming. Oh wait, I'm trying to put it.
If you hear screaming, yeah, we can see the whole thing now because only the bottom part was showing first.
Yeah. I just put it down. There you go. And it's signed by the actors and myself, Cassandra and Bruce Micalefino. Bruce is the organizer of the short film festival here in Malta called Video Nasties. Guys, actually, if you have a short which is horror that we have made this year and it is up to 15 minutes, I think you might be also able to apply for it. And it's slowly becoming one of Malta's indie adjacent festivals. There's so much potential there. I really love it. Unfortunately, because of I'm also involved with another short, I won't be able to judge, but I will be leaving my judging position into Francesca Vella's able hands, and we'll look forward for all the entries that are going to be in the festival. So good stuff. And then I continued reading this book by Maltese author and artist Ryan Falzon, Sci-Fi. It's a Maltese book. So far, so good. I want to finish it and see and basically make my mind up about it. And finally, as far as movies go, since I was very, very busy, I only managed to watch the first episode of The Penguin, which I'm very optimistic about, and especially by the way it looks and the story-wise, it seemed quite. Would you agree if I say it's like The Wire?
I'd say well, a little bit of The Wire, yes, a little bit of The Wire. Like, I think the inspiration is clearly more on the like mafia kind of series, I'd say.
Oh my God, Yugopnik just followed us. Hello, Yugopnik. Thank you for the follow. That's very interesting. Yugopnik, a great streamer, and I also helped him edit some of his clips.
Nice.
And yeah, welcome, Yugopnik. And if you want to shit on our cinematic taste, go for it.
We'll obviously review The Penguin later on in more detail.
Exactly.
Anything else, Franco?
No, that's it so far. Actually, you go for it because he's our resident movie librarian now. He's been also giving some thank you, legend, and I would never. I thank you, Gopnik. Thank you so much. Let's do a shout out to you. Oh, I did give a shout out already. Please make
All
sure
right.
that you follow you, Gopnik.
Yes.
And yeah, this is how much he watches. You watch Breathless of Jean-Luc Godard.
Yes. So
Oh
these are
my
some
God.
films I watched this week. There's quite a few missing because this week I couldn't really keep my letterboxd updated. But these are some of the stuff I watched this week. Breathless. So I gave Breathless a 3.5, and which might sound like heresy.
No, I think I would agree with you because Breathless is an acquired taste. I
It
agree with you
definitely
because
is.
I stopped. I think if I'm not mistaken, stopped watching halfway. The editing is very revolutionary, yes,
Oh,
but
the
then
editing. But the editing also put me off a little bit as well. Those jump cuts really. I think those jump cuts are, like you said, an acquired taste. Now, as revolutionary as those jump cuts are, and we know how they are used today, maybe I'd say maybe again this might be a heresy for a film critic, but it does feel a little off at times. And nowadays, I think we're more used to seeing certain jump cuts used with, especially with the audio, because the audio keeps on going, and there's a jump cut, and like obviously what the characters are, how the way the characters' mouths are moving doesn't match with what you're hearing due to the jump cut, and so that put me off at times. Apart from that, I think the way it's shot is very beautiful. However, when we talk about like, all right, shooting, because here we need to keep in mind when this was shot, 1960, people were used to the Hollywood system of things, where everything was
Yep.
shot in studio, right, and everything was lit with, different lighting in the studio. That
so
was very
lit.
convenient.
Boop, boop. No,
However,
not that lit.
no,
Sorry.
no. However, the fact that this was shot, in a street with natural lighting was revolutionary. However, 15 years ago, we had Roma Città Aperta shot, which, again, due to the situation of, some of the scenes literally being shot with Italy controlled by the Nazis. And also the fact that they just simply did not have the tech. The Italian neorealist movement came before the French New Wave. So again, it's revolutionary in some of its elements. However, I remember when you had mentioned, Franco, a while ago, where you enjoy watching the Italian neorealist films more than kind of like the French New Wave, and I would say I agree with you. Now that could be because we live in Malta, we are kind of used to Italian culture, Italian music, and that helps quite a bit. I'm sure that plays a part into it. But yeah, I still enjoyed watching Breathless. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. It's just I felt some of the, even just the portrayal of the characters felt a little one-dimensional, very one-dimensional. I mean, when compared to other films, like for example, I watched The Apartment, which was released in the same year. The Apartment is such a new and such a beautiful film by Billy Wilder. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it has the Jean-Luc Godard has the tendency to be very almost superficial. Now, check. I think you'll prefer though The Contempt, and even The Contempt. The soundtrack is amazing. I think
Okay.
is the same composer as is it? I'm not sure if it is the same composer of a Hitchcock movie as well. But Le Mépris, The Contempt, was one of my favorite Godard movies.
Okay.
I prefer it, even
George
Pierrot Le
Lazenby.
Fou. Pierrot Le Fou is very powerful as well.
Uh, And this I need to check out. I think this week I will be checking out Hiroshima Mon Amour because I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, that's also an acquired taste.
Okay, okay.
Have you seen last year in Marienbad?
No, neither.
Same
It's on my Plex, and I need to check it out.
same director, but same director, Alain Resnais.
Okay,
I'd have to give it another chance, pero Hiroshima Mon Amour.
hmm. Apart from that, there are some other films. North by Northwest I had watched already. I rewatched it. It's yeah, I mean, whenever I rewatch a Hitchcock, I'm just like, fuck man, this is like the best director ever. His films are just so
true.
good. And I rewatched Kill Bill Volume 1 for like the fourth or fifth time. There are moments in your life where like I just want to sit down and just have a blast, like just have fun, listen to great music, watch a great performance, watch great action. I was like, yeah, Kill Bill. That's what I need right now. And I mean, always a good time. This is not a very good time. The Young and the Damned. So depressing. This is so depressing. Man, this is one of the most depressing films I've ever watched. But I think, as I said, as an educator, this is a film that I think is essential to see how kids can fall out of the system, especially the system. When I say the system, I mean by the educational system, which is supposed to help kids as they grow up and develop. When they fall out of that system, fall into poverty, fall into criminality, and just the consequences of that, this is an essential film, I believe, for people who are into education and deal with kids and kids issues. No, that is an essential film. So these are just some of the films I watched. There's some missing here, but I'll add them later on.
I don't know if you heard about this guy, Seijun Suzuki, because it is one film that influenced Kill Bill. I'm going to try and find the title of the movie in the meantime. And yes, you're going to say before I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it, Franco. So I think we can move into the trailers whilst you look for the name of the movie. And today we've got, like I said, quite a few trailers, so we'll just try to skim through these really quickly. I'll pop up the first trailer right now. And the first trailer is for a Bong Joon-ho film. And I believe the last Bong Joon-ho film was Parasite, right, Franco?
That's right. Parasite was the movie that basically restarted the interest in K culture. By the way, the movie of Seijun Suzuki is called Tokyo Drifter, and there's also Brented to Kill. Tokyo Drifter.
I've never heard of Tokyo Drifter.
Do watch it because it's also a very, very pop, very Japanese new wave actually, and the way it portrays gangster movies. And I had a fun time watching it. Seijun Suzuki, Tokyo Drifter. And again, guys in chat, both on YouTube and on Twitch, if you have any recommendations for us, shoot them into the chat.
Yeah, let us know. And so let's get into the first trailer we have for today. Mickey 17. Franco, like I said, we'll just skim through these really quickly because we have a lot of reviews. So, I don't want to make this too long of a podcast. I want to keep it around 1 hour and 30 max, especially now since I'm starting university again. I'm going to be super busy. So I'm trying to juggle my time as best as I can. But let's get into it. The first trailer of the day, Mickey 17. Finally, after, oh my god, 6 years of waiting, Bong Joon-ho's follow-up to Parasite is almost here, titled Mickey 17, based on a novel by Edward Ashton. It is a surreal sci-fi story about a man who agrees to a dangerous job where if he dies, he'll be brought back to life and then forced to keep working.
No politic here. No politic.
No politics on this. No politics on this podcast. Especially not when we're talking about a Bong Joon-ho film.
No, it's yes,
okay.
No, continue, sorry.
And then when he dies again, the process repeats all over again. As the title suggests, poor Mickey has done this over and over and over. This is not Bong's first elaborate sci-fi film. Of course, in 2013, he made Snowpiercer, a great dystopian sci-fi film about a group of survivors of a climate apocalypse struggling to survive on a train that never stops amidst a new ice age. Mickey 17 is scheduled to open in theaters on, what a weird release date, January 31st, 2025.
No, it's a good birthday present for me. January, it's a good birthday present.
True. But, I mean, for people who, follow the industry of Hollywood, January is the dumping month for
True.
cinema generally.
Is it also Oscar time as well on the run up to the Oscars?
A bit too late. A bit too late. I
Okay,
think
okay.
very, very, very late for the Oscars. Usually Oscars are November, late October, November, December. Generally, when it comes to releasing something which is Oscar baity, let's call it that way. It's a weird release date. I'm curious as to why they're doing so. But anyways, Franco, you got to check out the trailer. I'll put up some
Yes.
images. Unfortunately, guys, I can't show the whole thing here because we will get blocked on YouTube and probably even on Twitch.
Or even on Twitch.
yeah. So I'll just
So-
show some images here and there. Franco, what do you think about the trailer?
I'm looking forward to it. Glad to see not just Robert Pattinson again expanding his call it, his acting chops. He's really choosing some very interesting characters, and now they're going to be multiple Robert Pattinsons in this movie, and so he's really
Good.
stretching his acting muscles. There's also Mark Ruffalo in it as well, continuing on his comedic streak, especially after Poor Things. Repertoire, you can call it repertoire, yes, the Shreyaks. And I'm looking forward. There's definitely going to be some anti-capitalist underlying message here. Stephen Yeun as well in it. It seems like a very fun. Even actually, I have to say, it doesn't seem so much CGI. If there is any CGI in it, is very well integrated with the sets. I like that it seems that there's going to be physical sets, and obviously even I think I'm interested to see what it is. It doesn't give too much, and it just gives just enough basically. Hopefully, because we did have a Marvel stuntman on the podcast, I will try and chase again his agent, Bong Joon-ho's agent, because now I think he's much freer now to come for an interview.
Hi, Augustus the Someday, bioarchaeologist. What is this? This is Mickey 17. This is basically a trailer to Mickey 17, which is a film by Bong Joon-ho coming out in January 31st next year, of course. And we're just commenting about the trailer. This is a sci-fi, basically, more or less like, again, I think this is more or less a dystopian sci-fi, basically. This looks great. I genuinely, I think Bong Joon-ho is one of the best visual storytellers out there right now. Like, genuinely, he is one of the best visual storytellers. Like, the visual storytelling in Parasite is just genius. Like, if you can look up the cinematography in Parasite on YouTube, there's 1,000 videos, and just looking at the way he portrays the rich and the poor, not a political stream at all, but the way Bong Joon-ho shoots the scenes, especially when it rains, those scenes are genius. Up and down, the up and down are done so beautifully and so smartly, and it's all so nuanced in it. It's not bashing. I mean, it is a little. I mean, it's not completely nuanced because I mean, the end of the film is what it is. It's a beautiful release of tension, but again, it is also very bloody, very cathartic in its ways. But still, Bong Joon-ho does political commentary. He does his visual storytelling so beautifully. I'm very excited by the cast as well. This looks so much fun, like such a fun performance, and it's so good. Franco, we always say this when we see like these Marvel, actors who get out of their character and can really show off their talents, because these are massive talents, and just seeing these fun performances. Even Stephen Yeun, for example, also another, unfortunately. What was going to be a Marvel actor? I don't think he's in Marvel anymore.
And he was supposed to be in Thunderbolts as well, so I'm not
Yes, he was
mistaken.
supposed to be in Thunderbolts. Instead, there's Lewis Pullman now instead of.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that later on.
And also, let's not forget Toni Collette. I will always say that she was
Yes.
robbed an Oscar for
Robbed.
Hereditary.
Rob.
Robbed for an Oscar.
Hello. So welcome, Augustus. He just got here. Yeah, good to have you on the podcast. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Here we discuss and chat. We love to chat with our chat. So it's always a good time. Yeah, so overall, very excited for this. I think this is one of those films. I will be there day one, definitely. Second film of today, definitely not, like we've said, a political podcast, but the platform too. Now, I don't know how popular this was. I watched this with a few friends, with a few workmates at home. The guy on top, I can barely hear you. The guy on top, is that me? You can
I
barely hear
think
me?
so. Yeah, yeah.
Just listening in though, it sounds okay on my end. Maybe because it be the sound. I don't know. It sounds good on my end, however, from what I can tell. Maybe you can confirm. For I'll add on the left, grey shirt. Oh, that's
Sure.
me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. I just tested it now. Maybe I'll just add the when you chat now, Franco. I'll add the sound.
Sure thing. Sure thing. I'm asking
Um,
also on Twitch just in case to make sure.
yeah. Actually, I can add the mic
All
from
all
here.
fine here. Okay, Twitch is fine. They said.
Yeah, I increase the audio. If it's too much, then I'll just reduce it a little bit. So the Platform 2 trailer keeps audiences hungry for the horror sequel, and Netflix's thought-provoking horror franchise is on its way back, as audiences will soon have their chance to fall into the Platform 2 when the movie arrives on the streamer in just a few short weeks. In the meantime, as part of their Geek Week festivities, Netflix has served up a piping hot trailer to give audiences more of an idea what to expect from the follow-up film, starring Milena Smith from The Snow Girl, Hovik Kjuchkerian, I'm sorry about that, Money Heist, Natalia Tena from Game of Thrones, and Oscar Geneda, Luis Miguel, the series. It is obviously a Spanish-language feature film, which promises more twists, turns, and bottomless hunger. Basically, the whole concept of this film is you've got this vertical prison, and cellmates have to team up to survive, and every day they're basically moved into a different level. The people who are at the very top get all the food. Every time it drops down a level, and every time obviously you can eat what is left on that platform until it reaches the very bottom, where basically you have nothing, right? And obviously, I mean, it's a very, very, very obvious, very bashing you on the head portrayal of the class system.
I haven't watched. I haven't watched the first one myself.
Okay.
I think I'll give it a go before if I'm going to check out the second platform. I think I didn't watch it for the simple reason that I think Parasite, as far as class warfare goes, did it much better. The platform, like you said, is very on the nose about it.
It's very on the nose, but still, I would say it's still a very, very fun time. I mean, it is a Netflix production, and when you look at it visually, it does look like a Netflix production made for TV and made for Netflix. You know, that Netflix look, that shiny Netflix look. It's an unfortunate reality of using. I mean, the digital camera can be made to look very good. For example, The Substance was shot on digital, for example, and it looks great. Just there's something about the lighting of it which makes it look a little off. I mean, it is very much inspired by Bong Joon-ho's work, for example. We were talking about Bong Joon-ho. We can comment about Snowpiercer. It's very much inspired by Snowpiercer. And again, the class system,
so good.
right, in Snowpiercer. And it's a good exploration into kind of like how humans react to being at the very top of the class system, then being dropped into the bottom and then in the middle, and how, I mean, are you going to leave food for the person underneath you? Are you going to be kind? And maybe then karma will help you. It's a very interesting exploration. Again, nothing about it is nuanced, very, very on the nose, but still an entertaining watch in my opinion. I would highly recommend the first film. And maybe Platform 2 will be just as good. I hope so, at least. Anyways, Franco, moving on to the next trailer really quickly. We are going to talk about Small Little Things. Here we are. Not Small Little Things, but Small Things Like These. Lionsgate sets release dates for Cillian Murphy star drops official trailer. Small Things Like These opened the Berlin Film Festival in February. The first time an Irish movie has had the honor. Emily Watson went on to win the Silver Bear for Best Supporting Performance for her role. Lionsgate later acquired North America, the UK, and Ireland. It will release the film first in the UK and Ireland on November 1st.
Sorry, Andrea, quick tangent because I was speaking to the Twitch chat about how we are Maltese people are fans of Italian football, and just to come say hi and bye because I'm busy editing. Malta Pop, welcome, please, guys. We're also live on Twitch. Malta Pop is the only podcast in Malta that takes a deep dive in pop culture, manga, cartoons, anime, models. Shout out Ashley Peschel. So do follow them on YouTube as well, and they're also doing a short movie for the video Nasties.
Yeah, very excited to watch that. Very excited to watch that, Ash.
And basically, I was saying that I said we're also streaming on Twitch now. Malta Pop, Ashley, I also gave you a follow recently, so hopefully I'll see you on Twitch as well.
Ashley used to stream so much back in the day, back in 2020, 2021. Ash used to do these Warzone streams where they used to be like 20, 30, 40 Maltese people playing in the same lobby, and it used to be the best time during COVID. Like that, I've constantly told Ashley, like that kept me sane. Being months inside, not leaving the house for months, just having the opportunity to, just have a good time with other people and laughing at the weird stuff that happens in Warzone. That was such a good time. That's such a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave up on Twitch because it's too hectic. I understand.
Yeah.
I just started, so I understand how hectic it is. Anyhow, and I was saying basically that I spoke about how Maltese people basically have Italian teams to support and English teams to support, and I spoke about the Inter Milan team and the friend and
Oh, don't
how
remind me.
exactly. See what I said?
Do
Twitch
not
chatters.
remind me.
See what I mean? Yeah, it's a bit. It's a bit.
Oh boy.
So, PS, don't be excited for the movie. It's so bad. Hopefully, it's so bad.
No.
It's enjoyable. I mean, come on, man. I mean, if it's your first time, it's fine. I'm not going to judge anyway, so I can shit on it as much as what. No, I'm joking. I'm
I
joking. I'm
will.
joking. Andrea will shit on it, basically. No. Now, good luck, and Ashley, if you need like a bit of feedback, I can give it to you since I'm not judging. I'll be able
Mhm.
to give you a bit of
True.
a push.
True. Yeah, let's get back into it. So this film, Small Things Like These, is obviously starring Cillian Murphy and Emily Watson. Emily Watson actually apparently won the Silver Bear for Best Supporting Performance for her role. The basic plot is you've got Cillian Murphy basically also produces, stars as a devoted father, Bill Furlong, in the drama that's based on the best-selling novel of the same name by Claire Keegan. Very popular, very popular book. While working as a coal merchant to support his family, Bill discovers disturbing secrets kept by the local convent and uncovers truths of his own, forcing him to confront his past and the complicit silence of a small Irish town controlled by the Catholic Church. Also stars Eileen Walsh, Michelle Fairley, and Zara Devlin. The story plays out in the weeks leading up to Christmas 1985. Directed by Tim Meelant, who did Peaky Blinders, who directed Peaky Blinders and adapted, obviously some episodes, and adapted by Enda Walsh, Hunger and Disco Pigs from Keegan's Booker Prize shortlisted novel. So, Franco, you got to check out this trailer. What do you think?
So first and foremost, thank you, Peshel, for the follow on Twitch. Special Place. I'm going to give him a quick shout out. And in the meantime, what did I like about this trailer? At first, I thought it was a run of the mill drama, but then I noticed that it's about the Magdalene Sisters convents, which is it's historically true. There was these convents where basically um, the women were locked in and they spent months of abuse, unfortunately, under the hands of the nuns, the Magdalene Sisters. There was another movie called The Magdalene Sisters, um, uh, which was a very angry movie, and it really didn't hold back in how angry it was. And this seems to be on the same line, and it's an interesting perspective to see someone who first doesn't want to be involved, but then obviously it makes it impossible to do so. So there you have it. And Killian Murphy, it's nice to see him now again moving on from Oppenheimer to another interesting role as well. Emily Watson, I haven't seen Emily Watson in quite a while. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
about you, Andrea.
Yeah, same.
And it also looks very the even the cinematography looks very interesting, and the atmosphere is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Completely agreed. Yeah, it's atmospheric. It's a very interesting career choice by Cillian Murphy, especially coming off his Academy Award win. He could have done pretty much anything after Oppenheimer, and the fact that he goes for such a such a quiet film, like a not a big Marvel film or even just a big. It's just like a quiet drama. It's a very interesting career choice, and I very much respect his decision. I agree with you. Very interesting. Visually, looks great. Even the camera angles and the framing of the images looks fantastic. I'm interested in this film. I wouldn't say I'm gonna be there day one, but yeah, I think this is a film I will definitely check out. It'll be interesting to see if it comes out in Malta, to be honest. Anyways, moving on to the next trailer. This will just skim through really quickly because we've already commented about the first trailer, but we did get the trailer for The Gladiator 2, the second trailer for The Gladiator 2, and thankfully, no rap music. By the way, viewers and listeners, I love me some rap music. I do love me some rap music. I love all the big rappers, Post Malone. I know I'm a boomer. I love Drake. I love 21 Savage.
Drake,
fan.
We have a Drake fan over here.
I mean, sue me. So to be clear, I love rap music. I don't love rap music with The Gladiator. No.
PDD, yes.
No.
Oh yeah, admit to Dandra, you're a PDD fan. It's fine, don't worry.
Can I be honest with you that I had no idea who PDD was before this whole thing popped up?
Oh, I am jealous then. Blissful ignorance.
I had no idea who he was. I had no idea who he was. Yeah, but Gladiator 2, the trailer, it's going to be fairly easy to answer the question of, are you not entertained? If Gladiator 2 lives up to the action we've already seen in the trailers, Paramount has just released another look at the highly anticipated sequel to Ridley Scott's Gladiator, due for release on November 22nd. And it promises to be one of the films of the year, and this trailer has dropped a real shocker too. Paul Mescal is... Oh, this is a bit of a spoiler, I won't say this.
No, don't say it.
Mescal, as we know now, plays Lucius, the son of...
Spoilers ahead, but anyway.
While Pedro Pascal plays a general who has been cast out. Denzel Washington takes on the role of Macrinus, a former slave turned merchant who has his eye out for vengeance on a grand scale. Joseph Quinn and Fred Hershinger starring as the twin emperors Gata and Caracalla. Derek Jacobi and Connie Nielsen will reprise their roles from the original. So, this second trailer for The Gladiator 2, have you watched it, Franco?
The second trailer, no. But from the first trailer, rap song notwithstanding, I found it very interesting, and it seems like it's grandeur mostly. There's a huge sense of grandeur. And yes, this was part of it, by the way, guys, was also filmed in Malta, especially the Colosseum scenes. So there you have it. Even the OG Gladiator, by the way, as well.
Yeah, we sometimes forget that, but yeah, even the OG Gladiator was shot here. Yeah, this trailer looks much better. I think the epic scale of this trailer really pops out. The music helps. Music really helps. I think visually you can tell there are a lot of practical sets, which I literally saw when I went to see. We both saw them, Franco, when we went to see the sets for The Gladiator. We saw the sets there in person. Yeah. We did use pretty much mostly practical effects for most of these scenes. There are some CGI here and there, and to be honest with you, I think that visually this looks great. I'm very much interested to see how Denzel Washington's performance will be. I was a bit worried after the first trailer, I'll be honest, but the second trailer for it, I'm much more excited for Denzel Washington's performance. I think it could be that the scenes that we saw from the first trailer just showed a part of his character, and we saw more from his character in the second trailer. Same thing for Paul Mescal. I know I said a very controversial thing. I was a little worried about his performance in the first trailer. I saw it much more here. So again, the scenes they showed here for Paul Mescal made me think, okay, yeah, this is a gladiator. This is the gladiator, right? So yeah, Pedro Pascal, I had no doubt in him. This is a role he is born to play. So yeah, overall, I come out much, much, much more excited from this second trailer, and now I have more positive vibes towards this film. And after all, I mean, it's Ridley Scott, you know, the guy. I saw a comment on Twitter: when Ridley Scott makes a film, the gods toss a coin. It's either great or it's terrible. I mean, This, I have a feeling it's not going to be an Academy Award winner, but I don't think it's going to be terrible either. I think the action and the cast will save it from, I'm sure, the mess of a plot it will be. Because I'm pretty confident this is going to be a mess, story-wise and storytelling-wise. But I'm also quite confident that visually the action and the performances from Paul Mescal and Connie Nielsen and the rest will also be very strong. So, mixed bag, but still rather positive compared to the way I thought I looked at it in the first trailer. That's a funny Game of Thrones reference. Yeah. And Pedro Pascal, his performances are mind-blowing. That's another Game of Thrones reference, by the way. So good stuff from that trailer. Final trailer of the day.
Something to watch in cinemas, by the way. Like
100%. I don't know if you want to add anything about the trailer, Franco. Or...
No, not much. Toss a coin, Targaryen. August.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's another thing they say. When a Targaryen is born, the gods toss a coin. Either they're like mad or they're great, right? Either they're Aegon Targaryen or they're like, what's his name? Viserys? No. What was the name of Daenerys' brother? The crazy guy.
Help us out, chat.
I think it was Viserys. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was Viserys though. But now I'm watching House of the Dragon, and I've read the book on which House of the Dragon is based on as well. And all the Targaryen names are all the same. There are so many Aegons and Targaryens. I'm just. It's actually an important plot point in House of the Dragon where the names are all the same. Anyways, moving on to the final trailer of the day. And Lewis Pullman, I love this title from Collider. Lewis Pullman is just Bob again in new Thunderbolts trailer. I will say why. I wonder if people in the chat will know what this reference is to, the Bob in the title. Because Marvel has just released a new epic trailer for next year's Thunderbolts, almost out of the blue. True, no news at all about this trailer coming out. But if we're being honest, it's an incredible surprise based on the action we've just seen in the 3.5-minute tease of what's to come in May 2025. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is putting together her own squad of misfits and miscreants, and they're going to need to work together if they want to make it true. Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova is front and center in the trailer, as her Black Widow is struggling to find her place in the world. Wondering like a lost sheep, maybe a team-up will help.
We're not beating the we hate Marvel allegations because Malta Pop said, "Oh, this looks good. I know you hate Marvel, but it looks good."
Oh, I'm going to surprise you, Ash, with my reaction. You'll see. The confirmed cast for the huge...
And I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the trailer, by the way. Augustus said Lewis Pullman is great.
Oh, yes. I love Lewis Pullman. He was so good in Lessons in Chemistry. Augustus, if you've watched Lessons in Chemistry, or if you have not watched Lessons in Chemistry, check it out. It's a beautiful performance by Lewis Pullman. Really good. The cast is amazing. I mean, there's Louis Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra, De Fontaine. There's Sebastian Stan, of course, as Bucky Barnes. There's David Harbour, who I adore, as Red Guardian, having the time of his life. Wyatt Russell, who we loved in the Monsterverse series. What was it called?
Monarch.
In Monarch, who was very good in Monarch. I was constantly saying, man, Wyatt Russell is the standout. And considering there was his father in that film as well. Wyatt Russell was so good. Yeah, agreed, Augustus. Fantastic in Lessons in Chemistry. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, who I'm not the biggest fan of the character, but yeah, it is what it is. And Olga Kurilenko as Taskmaster. Again, not the biggest fan of that character either. Additionally, Geraldine Viswanathan has replaced Aya Debiri in an undisclosed role, and Lewis Pullman is continuing the Bob cinematic universe, taking on the role of a new Bob, following, of course, this is the reference I was referring to, Top Gun Maverick. Which is, there's a famous scene in which is like, they're all like, oh yeah, I'm this cool pilot. And they're like, what's your name? I'm Bob. No, seriously, who are you? No, I'm Bob. Yeah, he's Sentry. Sentry is an interesting character. Sentry is, I'd say, the what if Superman was batshit crazy, but like someone with the power of Superman, someone with the power to destroy the world. He literally has the power to destroy everything in the world. He's probably the most powerful character in the MCU. Power to destroy the world. The only character who's able to defeat Hulk apart from obviously what we saw with Thanos, which I think was a bit of a, I didn't really like that part in Endgame, but anyways, it is what it is. Sentry is a great character. It's going to be interesting to see how they balance him, because Thunderbolts, the characters in Thunderbolts are quite minor characters when it comes to power. They're mostly, just skilled or have some powers here and there, right? There are super soldiers, or there's Ghost, Taskmaster, mostly super soldiers, right? Wyatt Russell. And then you've got Sentry. And Sentry's like, destroy the world, apocalyptic character. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance it. Of course, Sentry also has the issue of being, crazy. He's messed up completely. So maybe they play that element into it to make sure that he doesn't get too crazy powerful. At the same time, I agree with Ashley. I hope they don't mess him up too much or power drain him, because that's my worry with this. At the same time, it's a relief, like Augustus said, to have a great actor playing the role, because Lewis Pullman is a great actor. Now, having gone through the trailer, I don't know if you want to comment about it, Franco, or I can just get into it.
No, you can get into it. I haven't seen the trailer yet, because I wasn't aware that there's a new trailer of the Thunderbolts myself.
It just came out like an hour or so ago. First of all, I'd say the dynamic here, the humor being played between Florence Pugh and David Harbour is great. Probably the saving grace for Black Widow. Honestly, the only saving grace of that film, which had some of the worst action ever.
And CGI, by the way, the worst CGI.
That CGI, the Scarlett Johansson jumping from the throne. Oh, that was. I read that action was actually done. I'm not sure if that film had actually done
reshoots,
and I believe it wasn't even actually Scarlett Johansson doing that.
Oh yeah, I think it was a face replacement. Yeah. By the way, welcome. Shout out to Peacefire Now, the only streamer allowed to call me Thelma, as I'm the only streamer allowed to call him Luis, basically.
Yeah, this trailer looks great. I'm sorry to surprise you, Ash, but this trailer looks great. I'm so pleased with the grounded action in this film. The action looks fantastic. Lots of practical effects. I'm really surprised.
And I have to say, the lighting at least looks decent as well. Eh?
Yes,
it's not.
Yes.
It's not. Doesn't look flat. And no,
in this,
I don't think so.
At least she's not listed in the cast. Let's put it down. I'm sure Rachel Weisz would be listed in the cast if she was in this. Augustus. I think this looks great. This whole fight sequence we have here in the scene, all practically done. It seems to be very practical, very grounded action, although there is some super soldier elements here and there. And overall, I think this looks very promising. Yeah, I'll agree, Ash. Will remind you very much of Winter Soldier with some humor, with some more humor. Because Winter Soldier was a very grounded, very dark take to obviously Captain America. This, I think, will have more comedic elements than Winter Soldier, but still mostly grounded action. Again, it'll be interesting to see how they do the whole Sentry of it all. But I will agree with Franco. The lighting is also quite decent. You have a very, very strong cast. Very, very strong cast. We were talking about Sebastian Stan just last week with that film, which is like The Elephant Man.
A Different Man. It's actually called A Different Man.
Yeah. Looks like a brilliant performance by him. But again, he's a great actor. This is a very strong cast. Lots of practical action. The team up looks fun. At least I'll be lying if I said I'm excited to see the whole team. Again, David Harbour, Florence Pugh, Wyatt. These are great actors, right? Sebastian Stan.
Hold on a second. I know this is not a politics stream. Can you go back to Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Which part, Franco?
Go back. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is doing the team up, right? Just go slightly back. I want to see.
Yeah, she's the one. She's the one doing the team up. Yeah.
Chat, just a second. So when you put it, look, isn't she Tulsi Gabbard coded? She looks like Tulsi Gabbard. Yes, that's not Al Pacino. That's who's that? I think that's Ray Romano.
Who? In which scene, Franco?
There's also Spider-Man. What the hell is happening? Or is that Lewis Pullman?
No, that's Lewis Pullman.
Yeah, I got confused with Tom Holland.
This is Lewis Pullman. This is when he says, "I'm Bob." Sebastian Stan is playing Trump next. Yes, and we commented about that trailer as well. Augustus, we commented about it last week.
Yeah,
I
The
believe.
Apprentice looks fucking fantastic. I'm really looking forward to see that. I think it will be as good as Vice. I haven't checked out Vice. Have you seen Vice, by the way?
Yes, great. I loved it. I loved it. But I am biased towards political movies, so again, I think The Apprentice will be another film I will very much
Yeah.
enjoy. And obviously, it's Succession meets Trump, right? What
Yeah, with Jeremy
what
Strong
could
in
go
it as
wrong
well.
with Jeremy Strong? So what could go wrong? I know I'm so pumped for that film. If it doesn't release in Malta, I'm going to be pissed. I'll be surprised if it doesn't release in Malta, though. I think that's a film which will attract audiences.
Most probably, they will think that this is a good movie about Trump. The Maltese one is
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? Because we have our
Yeah.
Trump fans as well.
The Apprentice has some awful scenes in it. Okay, I'm surprised.
Oh, okay.
Does he add? Okay, Augustus, if you can tell us which ones, maybe we can chat about that. We were both quite positive, to be honest with you. The performances look pretty good. I saw an early screener for it. It doesn't
Doesn't look good for Trump.
I mean-
What do you expect?
I mean, it's that obviously depends on your political leanings then and the way you look at Trump. I mean, I have to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Trump. And,
Me.
yeah, it's kind of like
Ju-
it's like a
Just in case my name doesn't give it away on Twitch, I'm not a big fan of Trump either. Anyway.
But of course, it is also a dramatic. There are some are scenes in it. Yeah. We'll see. Obviously, we can only judge the trailer so far. We haven't watched the whole film. We'll see. Hopefully, they're tastefully done. But at least from what you're saying, I get a feeling maybe they're not. We'll see. We'll review it when it comes out in Malta.
I mean, listen, how can you do such a scene tastefully? I mean, it's not a tasteful action to begin with. So, and it is.
That was a discussion I had once when I had watched the film. What was that film? It was a historical film, an Australian film. And it's a bird.
The bird.
Accuse him of it. Yeah, it was the name something a bird. Anyways, if I remember, I'll mention it. Directed by
Jennifer Kent. Jennifer Kent.
Directed by Jennifer Kent, and that was very infamous for a very, very horrific scene in it. That was not. It was tastefully done in the sense that it's done from the female gaze.
The Nightingale. The Nightingale.
The Nightingale, that's the one. At the same time, I did see people leave the cinema when I watched it. Like it was very graphic, very, very graphic. The Nightingale, that's the one. Yeah,
That's
the
one,
Bob's
Bob.
I don't know if we were in the same cinema together at the Bob when we had watched it, but I remember one or two people leaving, if I remember correctly. And I watched in Spazio Creative. That was very, very graphic. At the same time, it was essential for the whole plot, right? Because then the whole plot is very much a revenge tale. One of my favorite films of that year, by the way. Nightingale, loved it, really loved it. But yeah, that's pretty much it with regard to trailers. I surprised actually, because I actually am quite a big fan of Thunderbolts. I'm very much looking forward to it. And with that, viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts about all these different film trailers. We now have a lot of reviews to get into. So without further ado, Franco, I think, shall we start off? Which one do you want to start off with?
I can stay with you in the meantime while I'm streaming. Also, by the way, I want to say hi if there are new viewers to our stream. I'm Franco. I'm the Maltese Leftist on Twitch. Right now, I'm doing a collaboration with a good friend of mine and also a great producer for movie reviews, the only movie podcast in Malta. And I hope that you're enjoying it so far. So give us a subscribe on the Ad Lib Podcast. Thank you all for the follows, and hopefully we'll get onto we'll get more. We'll finally get to affiliates. So Augustus said he wants to know about Agatha. So let's go. Let's go with
Augustus,
Agatha.
Can I take a quick break? My voice needs a bit of a break. Shall we start with the Penguin first? And Franco can start off with the Penguin. Then we'll do Agatha after Penguin.
Okay.
To take a break. My voice is
I'll,
it is.
I'll take my break later on because I also been yapping for almost more than 3 hours now. Anyway,
Bitch. Okay.
So The Penguin starring Colin Farrell. There's the first episode out, There was a bit of trepidation, obviously, because following the Batman by Matthew Reeves, we were wondering, like, how is the Batman universe going to look on TV? I was pleasantly surprised, and this, like, even the particular, I was surprised how complex the Penguin's character is, even though he's still villainous in his schemes. I'm trying not to drink some water, mate. Yes, hydrate chat as well.
Hmm.
Um, I was surprised by how complex it is. It doesn't look at all like a Batman movie. It seems like a gangster movie set in the DC universe. I'm amazed by the placement as well, the production design, how almost grounded in reality it is. It's really doesn't show. It's not as fantastical. Obviously, even the Batman was very grounded in reality. Um, uh, it feels like there's lots of intrigue going on, lots of backstabbing and the scheming going around. Colin Farrell is fantastic. I can't fault him. It's interesting seeing how long is this going to be this series.
Probably 8 episodes. I mean,
8 episodes.
mostly 8 episodes. Let me check.
There might be for some trepidation is that this series is going to be carried only on the shoulders of Colin Farrell. Not that the other actors are not doing well, especially what's her name? She's Carmine's
Kristen
daughter,
Milioti. She
Kristen
is.
Milioti.
Oh my God. Her performance so psychotic, but like
Uh,
there's always on edge. You're always like expecting her to snap. She's
yes,
brilliant.
yes. She the her portrayal of always being on edge, and like she's just gone out of Arkham Asylum, the infamous Arkham Asylum. It's very interesting to see as well.
I mean, whoever
So
signed her papers, they need to get checked. They need to
yeah,
send that person into Arkham. Whoever signed her papers to leave. Although there could be elements of corruption here as well. Of
and
course, it's
and no, of course it's Gotham, and they also like Clancy as I really like that actor. He's got such a presence, even in the John Wick series. What's his name? Something Clancy. Um, uh,
Clancy. I'm not sure. Maybe we can see him here and
I'm gonna
but,
Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown.
okay. Who was that? Franco Clancy Brown.
Salvatore Minotti, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that the
Um,
kid?
oh, Mark. Okay, I saw right. And Mark Strong is Carmen Falcone. That's great.
Hmm.
That's a great addition.
Hmm.
No, he's the mafia boss who's in prison. That basically
Oh yeah,
Penguin
yeah, 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 yeah.
and
Oh, such
tells
a
you,
presence. Yeah, such a
yeah,
presence. Orchestra.
he tells you basically fuck off, don't come back. And it's promising. It's very promising. I'm looking forward to keep on watching it. Hopefully, making it one of the few TV series that I managed to finish. And yeah, I haven't watched this yet because of college, but Colin is always good. I'll probably get to it later next month. Colin is great. Colin is great. Even the accent where he goes like Viking. How does it go? I don't know what. I think it's a Bostonian accent if I'm not mistaken. And
Could be. I'm not the biggest
chat
expert on American accents,
with accent.
unfortunately.
Twitch chat can say,
Yeah.
or even others, and he's great. And even the scenes with his mother, when his mother goes like, "Oh yes, I'm not better not spoil it."
Hmm. Yeah. Anything else, Franco?
No, not that's it from my side. Andrea,
Okay, so some short comments about it because obviously we only have one episode so far. I think it's very interesting to explore the Penguin as a character, both as a person and his growth. Obviously, he starts off. If you've seen the Batman, you know he starts off as quite a low. He is a powerful criminal, but
he,
not when compared to the Falcone family. Of course, he's still
yeah,
a cog in the system, right? But I think it'll be interesting to see his rise. This is clearly going to portray his rise. I think that's not a spoiler to say. I think it's quite obvious. We do have, of course, like Augustus said, Colin Farrell in the role. Hours of makeup every time. I read how he was so happy to get it over and done with, and they were like, "Are you going to do a season 2?" Like, no way. But then it was like, maybe in a few months' time, if we do well, I'll do a season 2. because I think at first he was like, holy shit, that was so hard to get into the makeup every time. And even just like to get into the character, this is a very dark character who has lots of issues, lots of issues. I'd say Colin Farrell was great in The Batman, and he really is the star of this show. Clearly, it's also his name is in the title. But like you said, Franco, Christine Milioti as Sofia Falcone, the Hangman, is brilliant. Really, really good. Her eyes, there's something about her eyes where you're like, this woman is crazy. Like, she is crazy. And any moment, she's going to, explode and like chop off your hand or something. So yeah, she's nuts, and we do see some of that in this episode. I don't know what you think, Franco, about the dynamic between Vic and the Penguin. I quite enjoyed it, especially that scene when the sun is rising.
Yeah, there was a bit of tension. I was thinking that the Penguin is gonna fuck him over at the end. So it was a great scene, and I think it's like there's a push and pull of of Oswald taking care, being the benevolent gangster, and being the fear-inducing gangster, so to speak. So especially like at the end, there was a bit of a spoiler. That's it. Yeah, it's interesting, and I'm interested to see how Vic's character is going to develop as well, because he's going to shape him into most probably his right-hand man.
He's probably Vic will play the heart of this series, I would imagine, because this is a very dark series. It's like The Sopranos, right? In its depth, even in its depth, I will say it's very much like The Sopranos. In its
some
depth.
humor, there was some elements of humor as well in it.
Yes,
as well.
much more than the Batman. Much more than Matt Reeves' Batman. Very little. I mean, the very little humor there was in the Batman was from the Penguin, basically, the Penguin character, more or less, right? So, yeah, this is very much HBO's new The Sopranos. Also, his mother, I very much liked his mother as well. There's O'Connell. You see, the first time you see her, you're like, oh, okay, she's going to play the loving mother. And they're like, oh,
no.
Not at all. She's like the weak character, like the weak mother who is like, oh my God, not at all. Like, she is also, I mean, she does clearly have dementia, right? And that's not
for sure.
She does clearly have dementia, but at the same time, she's like, yeah, fuck up anyone who gets in your way.
No. Let's
in your way.
Let's keep it mysterious. So, guys, if you want to check it, we recommend it. Let's hope it keeps the quality throughout consistent. Because the more we wax lyrical about it, the more we will spoil, most probably.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the first episode, so we can just mention a few details.
Yeah.
Nothing that is going to spoil But promising, very promising. I think this is going to be a massive hit for HBO. I think this is the kind of show that will pick up viewers every week from a good word of mouth. I mean, even looking at IMDb, 8.8, that is a fantastic score. And I'm sure looking at the ratings and the reviews, they're going to be waxing lyrical just like us. So for fans of Matt Reeves' Batman, this is a must. This is a must watch if you're a fan of The Sopranos. This is a must if you're a fan of like mafia shows and shows which explore the criminal undertones of like an urban city. This is a must watch, definitely. Moving on to, as Augustus wanted us to talk about, Agatha. You didn't watch Agatha, right, Franco?
No, there's the first 2 episodes out, right?
Yes.
Okay. No, not yet. But speak about it. I don't mind some minor spoilers. So did it live up to our expectations as far as lighting goes and story-wise?
So, Agatha All Along. First of all, to introduce it, this is created by Jack Schaefer, who you might have heard, especially if you watched WandaVision. He was also the creator of WandaVision. So you can tell, and I looked this up, apparently it's the same creative team, more or less, that worked on WandaVision. And that helps, because WandaVision is by far the best looking Marvel series. By far.
Even story-wise, it was very, very bold.
Although I will say I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending, the way that series ended. But yeah, I agree, Augustus. I loved WandaVision. It's almost disappointing how good WandaVision was and how disappointing mostly everything else was after WandaVision.
Apart from Loki season 2.
Loki, even season 1 I enjoyed, but season 2 was amazing. This is clearly, obviously, a spin-off from the series WandaVision. the 11th television series. Jesus Christ, okay. from Marvel, of course. Of course, we have the return of the amazing Kathryn Hahn, who reprises her role as Agatha Harkness. We last saw her in WandaVision as Agnes, and this, in fact, the story takes place 3 years after the events of WandaVision, and in it, we start off with Agnes being trapped in the town of Westview, New Jersey. And, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler because you see it in the trailer. Obviously, the opening is very much kind of like this, how am I going to describe it? Like this true crime kind of show. One of those crime shows. And Agatha, who is Agnes, is the detective looking for who murdered the person. And then the person who is murdered is very interesting with regard to the MCU in general. I won't say who that is, but I think it's quite obvious if you've watched WandaVision. What were the comments? I loved it. They didn't do any CGI in Agatha All Along. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the visuals very soon. Everything is done on set. Yep. I agreed, Augustus. And so just to get into the plot, obviously Agnes breaks from Wanda's spell, and fortunately, because we need a story, right? She finds out that she doesn't have any powers. She has no magical powers. So what she does is she has to form a new coven of witches, and to escape from reality and walk this road, whatever this road is. I didn't really get that road part, but she has to walk this road to get her powers back. That's the basic premise of this show. Now, as viewers of this podcast will know, here we're not the biggest fans of the MCU. But if there's a good MCU product, we will say it. I'm not ashamed to say if I like an MCU movie or series, and I would be lying to say if I said I quite enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Agatha All Along. And the main reason why I enjoy it so much is Kathryn Hahn. Kathryn Hahn is great. She is very sassy, giving a very fun performance. As Agatha Harkness, she knows perfectly the kind of tone the series is going for, the kind of tone required by the show, and she pulls it off perfectly, right? She's very charismatic actress. We've seen her in a lot of roles, and we know she can pull it off. There's also that very infamous naked scene. I don't know if you've seen it.
I heard about it basically.
Where it shows off her butt. I saw there was some controversy by certain people on Twitter. I was like, really? I mean, this is just what I would expect out of an Agatha All Along show. Like, this is not made for kids. I mean, there are some elements where it's a little bit more made for teens, but this is not made for kids. This is made for more mature teens, to be honest.
Andrea, I'm just going to get some water, and
all right,
I'll leave you in the safe hands of Andrea in the meantime.
Of course. Franco. Because the audio, actually, let me mute Franco whilst he's away. Yeah, because of you could hear me speak. Anyways, she's great. Kathryn Hahn really pulls it off with a very sassy, very fun performance. So charismatic, but also powerful in certain emotional moments that I'm sure we'll see more of later on in the show. It's even the dialogue that she's given, very witty dialogue. The dialogue is great. So it's just a solid screenplay as well. Overall, perfect casting for that role. I also want to talk about Aubrey Plaza, and I think there's a great dynamic between Aubrey Plaza and Kathryn Hahn, and there's lots of sexual tension as well between those two characters, so I'm interested to see how that storyline develops, how that dynamic works. Very excited to see that. Clearly, she is some kind of old enemy. For Agatha, there's actually also an action scene between them. Probably the action scene between the two was my least favorite part of the 2 episodes. But the dynamic, the sexual tension between them is very interesting. What makes it good is that Agatha's not under the Darkhold anymore, exactly. And I imagine, Augustus, I'm not too much into the MCU lore, but I would imagine that's the reason why she also lost her powers, right? Anyway, so like I said, the series starts off in a very interesting fashion as this crime noir television series. The unfortunate reality of it being a sequel to WandaVision is we lack the surprise factor that we had when watching WandaVision. When we watched the first 4 episodes of WandaVision, everyone was like, what the hell is going on? What's this? This is great, but what the hell is going on here? Like every week is, okay, it's the 50s, now it's the 60s, now it's the 70s. Augustus, I'm not. I mean, yes, she's not evil, but I think she's going to be very much a great character in the show. I don't think she's going to be a good person in the show. Actually, I'd be quite disappointed if Catherine Hunt's character Agatha is a good person in the show. I hope they keep her as greyish as possible, and I hope she does some evil stuff in the show. I very much hope so, because Catherine Hunt really pulls that off perfectly. And yeah, like Augustus said, props to the production designers, the costume designers, props to the makeup as well. It's fantastic. It looks all practical. The sets look very, very practical. Great design as well. Visually, well done show. Great lighting as well. Really great lighting compared to most of the other Marvel stuff, which is very dull visual looks, mostly CGI. This is evidence for the MCU how important it is, number one, to have a good showrunner, a good creator, because many TV series did not even have a showrunner, if you can believe that, Franco. Many Marvel shows did not have one showrunner leading the whole thing. You just had a group of writers working on it. Here, you have one creative leading the team. The fact that you have the whole creative team behind WandaVision helps because it is a consistent visual look to the show with regard to WandaVision, and that is evidence enough, I think, for Marvel to see that this is the way to go. Practical effects, sets, not just CGI, that bland CGI look that Marvel usually does.
True.
Great cast, great actors, and they have cast very great actors here. Catherine Hahn, Aubrey Plaza, and the rest. Yeah, love the song as well. There's a song we hear in the trailer, the Ballad of the Witch's Road, which I really, really enjoyed. Yeah, promising start, great tone. I enjoyed it so far. Very much looking forward to it. Curious, if Bob has checked it out, because I know Bob tries to keep up with the MCU. Bob reviewed it. He quite enjoyed it. Yeah, he reviewed it on
Prickly Pears.
Yeah. I have to read the whole review, Bob, because I just saw it pop up and I have to check out the whole review. But because I try not to check too many reviews before I review myself the thing on the podcast, because I try not to be influenced. It's as a reviewer, sometimes it really is impossible not to be influenced by people. I try as much as possible. I say it all the time. Like, I am very much a biased reviewer, very much a biased reviewer, and I will admit, I'm sure not many people will say this, but I will admit sometimes I am. I wouldn't say completely influenced, but I am sometimes, just a little bit influenced by people. I think it's a reality for everyone. Yeah, seems more like an anti-hero now. Yeah, exactly. More of an anti-hero now.
Yep.
So yeah, those are my thoughts on Agatha All Along. Viewers and listeners, let us know if you've checked out Agatha All Along and The Penguin. Let us know in the chat and in the Twitch chat on Franco's Twitch. Moving on, shall we move on next to, what shall we do next? History Daughters?
There's also The Substance and History Daughters. And then we finish off with Castillo, right?
Exactly. So here's
So in the meantime, chat, sorry, I'm keeping quiet. Like I said, Andrea is the resident librarian, so I can butt in a bit for the comments, and I will maybe see the movies later on. Mela, the multiple movies, the best movie ever made with an amazing twist. Also, I am in no way trying to influence you. I mean, for me, okay, I can believe you. It's on Andrea's hands now.
Exactly, because I'm the judge. And by the way, Ash, because I didn't read this comment, so it's good. Wow, nice that you seem to be on the Marvel bandwagon at the moment. I'm not going to say I'm on the Marvel bandwagon, but Ash, if I enjoy something, I enjoy it. I'm not like one of those reviewers who has to hate the MCU, has to hate every Star Wars thing. If I enjoy something, I enjoy it. If I don't, I don't. I'm going to shit on it. That's just my approach. Ash, €50 here and there helps as well to influence someone.
That's not beating Malta's corrupt allegations. Please stop.
Not at all. I am, of course, joking. I can even do it for 20.
In Minecraft as well. Corruption in Minecraft. Let's keep it there. Check the level.
Ding.
Pay wise, guys. Anyway.
All right, next movie. Now, this is a film we've been hearing quite a bit about. I've been hearing a lot of very good stuff about this. His Three Daughters, directed and written by Azazel Jacobs. And I will come out right out and say it. This is one of 2024's most powerfully emotional films. It's a beauty of a film. And the fact that we have these three leads, who you can see in the poster, this scene is, my heart couldn't take it. This scene in the poster, my heart could not take it. It's such an emotional scene. The fact that you have these three stars, right, really does help. But it's not just the acting. It's not just the acting and the stars. There's lots of good stuff here. So let's get into it. So we've got Carrie Coon, Natasha Lyonne, and Elizabeth Olsen. They are three sisters who pretty much, from what we can tell from the story, have lost contact with each other due to different reasons. And the screenplay slowly explores why they sort of cut contact with each other, more or less, and kind of became estranged to each other. And that's a big positive for the screenplay, which I will comment about in a bit. And yeah, they are reunited because their father is very ill with cancer, and he is basically entered hospice care at home. And basically it's the last few days of their father, and the tension of the film is that any day could be the last for their father. So obviously, will these three sisters, his three daughters, will they be reunited, or will they remain estranged to each other, right? And clearly their father wants them to become close with each other again. And that's the whole dynamic of this film. Now, from what I did a bit of research about this, apparently Azazel Jacobs, when writing these three sisters, wrote those characters specifically for these actresses. So he wrote a character for Carrie Coon, he wrote a character for Natasha Lyonne, and a character for Elizabeth Olsen. And that's one of the strongest elements of this movie. It works great. The dynamic between the three sisters feels very organic. The arguments that obviously take place in this film are fantastic, bloody amazing, and again, constantly very real. It's kind of like you're watching real people. We are watching actresses, right? Well, clearly we're watching actresses. But as you're watching it, you're so engrossed into the drama between the three sisters that you feel like you're watching real people, like real arguments, right? Because they develop so naturally, so beautifully between the three of them. And that just shows not only how good these actresses are, and they are amazing, but how good the screenplay is. The conversations, the discussions, the arguments, the fights, very realistic flow to that dialogue, right? Almost sometimes too real. You know how in an argument sometimes you give a sarcastic response, sometimes you use dark humor, and maybe other films might be a little scared to use dark humor with such a dark theme of their father dying. But that's how life is. That's how brothers and sisters speak to each other, especially when they're arguing about something. You use sarcasm. You use dark humor. Emotions flare. And sometimes you don't always have to have someone screaming and shouting. Sometimes you have someone who's trying to act as the more mature person in the room, and so tries to control their emotions. And there are certain scenes where you see one of these three amazing actresses who kind of like first try to play the pacifier, and then in the next scene you see them trying to calm down and stop from having a panic attack, and you see them like breathing in and out. These scenes have a lot of emotional weight. So the dynamic acting between the three, beautiful, really well paced. This is a 1 hour 40-minute movie, which is exactly the time it needed to develop the story, develop the relationships, and conclude it in a very satisfying manner. Well paced, well edited, doesn't dwell too much on certain. You know how some of these scenes, these films, Franco, try to give actors their Oscar moment.
Yeah, like Maestro, basically.
Like Maestro. This doesn't have a moment where like, okay, let's, I know you're doing this for the Oscar. All the conversations and the dynamics of the characters are all very natural. Uh,
it seems very tight as well for an
yeah,
hour 41-minute movie. It's quite
exactly. And the filmmaker did his own editing here, and I think it works really well.
it helps. It helps a lot. Yeah.
Very much helps. Yeah, the three sisters themselves are, of course, the main focus of this film, right? We've got Carrie Coon, Natasha Lyonne, Elizabeth Olsen, all very talented, all giving very nuanced, deep performances. Their eyes, there are a lot of use of their physical, as well as of use of their, how they react, how their bodies move, where they are placed in the scene. The composition of scenes is amazing, and I'll comment about the visuals in a bit. And there's a lot of show, don't tell, which I'm going to use again for the substance. Lots of show, don't tell here, which is great, right? And it's another reason why the screenplay for this works so beautifully. And the screenplay divulges information slowly through the whole film, which is another strong element of this film. The sound design, you have that constant sound of their father's ECG going in the background, and that
Ooh,
is
it was
so
very.
tense. Beep,
That's,
beep, never stops. And that's another reason why the pacing and like the tension of this film is very strong. And it's also a very important plot point late on in the film as well. I won't spoil that, of course. It makes the sisters very tense, and it's going to make you, the viewer, also very tense. And yeah, that's the build-up of tension, right? And the heartbreak you will experience in this film, both the sisters and yourself as a viewer, is a very strong element of this film. I wrote down the name of the cinematographer because I didn't want to forget him, Sam Levi, who I think does an amazing job with the framing of the scenes, like the way he frames the sisters when he shoots two sisters together and one on her own, or the shot and counter shot. The way he plays with the camera is great, and even the way that the cinematographer Sam Levi explores their flat, their apartment, the apartment where they are in. Really good stuff. And even the production design in the apartment is great. So yeah, this is a very, very, very strong film. Very strong visual storytelling, very strong performances, great sound design. On overall, I would say one of the best films, one of 2024's strongest releases. A very, very, very strong film. So good to see Netflix releasing something of this quality. Not good for Netflix not to advertise this as much, because I think very few people have heard of this film.
I think we skimmed through it as well, because I remember seeing this trailer. I don't know if I shared the trailer with you as well. So it's lucky that you covered it. So anyone who's interested to see something different from Netflix, check it out, guys.
Yeah, and prepare the tissues, because I was a mess after watching this film. I was a mess. And I'm not the kind of guy who gets very emotional, as has been proven with Joe.
A man crying, beta. You're a beta cock.
No, I just don't have emotions. I don't feel emotions.
That's true. It's true. That's something. Like he watched. What's it called? What was it? All of Us Strangers. Yeah,
All
all
of
of
Us
us strangers.
Strangers.
All of Us Strangers didn't cry. This guy is heartless. But then he
Yeah.
cried for After Sun as well.
The After Sun was my heart. Yeah, that was
Anyway.
one of my favorite films. Yeah,
Two more-
that's
two
His
more-
Three Daughters.
2 more to go, and shall we keep it under 1 hour 30, because 10 o'clock is almost.
Oh shit! Yep, let's get into it. So next film is The Substance. So I did not upload this review on purpose on Letterboxd. I'll be uploading it after the podcast. Because The Substance, and I'm going to spoil my review at once, is...
Okay,
Probably about to say something.
No. I was scared that you're going to spoil something. Anyway,
No spoiler at all. The Substance is terrible. No, not at all. It's not terrible. Actually, quite the opposite. The Substance, I wrote, is a modern horror classic. It is, I'll just come out right out and say it, one of my personal favorite films of the year, and then one of my personal favorite films of the last few years. This is
Boom, shaka.
why cinema exists. To watch films like The Substance, to watch great visual storytelling, and to hear the reaction from people. Because the reactions from people watching The Substance was amazing. So fun. So fun. So what is The Substance? Incredibly gory, such a horrific tale of beauty, lust, and greed. Anyways, apparently, The Substance actually won Best Screenplay at the 77th Cannes Film Festival.
Yep.
Yeah, had high expectations for this film, and my expectations were reached and some. So, what is The Substance? It stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid, who is, oh my god, so fun. In the film, the plot focuses on a celebrity whose star has dimmed, who ends up being fired from her popular TV show on her 50th birthday in a very, 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 very sad scene. The way it's shot as well and the way it's set up is great. It is Demi Moore, and Demi Moore looks amazing, but Demi Moore's character feels very self-aware about the way she looks and about the fact that she is aging and that she's, people aren't giving her the attention they used to give her when she was young. Her character, by the way, her name is Elizabeth Sparkle, and ends up in an accident. And after this accident, she finds a USB in her bag labeled The Substance. And what this substance is basically like a serum which can create a younger, this is straight from the film, a younger, more beautiful, perfect version of the user. However, both versions are connected together, and you kind of get a bit of an idea of how that works from the poster, right? And in my review, I wrote down, surely nothing can go wrong with that, right? Of course not. It will all go smoothly, no problems at all. I want to start off with the opening of this film, because the opening of this film is a very long take. It's a 2-3 minute long take on the same thing. It starts off
on the egg, no? On the egg yolk.
There's the egg yolk, but apart from the egg yolk, there's this scene where we see Elizabeth Sparkle's star added to the Hollywood Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And we see it added, and we see lots of people crowding around, taking photos of it, and they're like, oh, take a photo of me. And then time starts to pass. And for example, here, at one point, you hear someone passing, oh, that's her, right? She starred in that old movie. What was the name of that old movie? Oh, whatever, what the hell. And keep on going. And it starts to crack, and then there's, at the end of this scene, someone drops their food, their takeaway food on, someone drops their burger on it. And and watching this scene, I was like, okay, this is going to be amazing. It's such great visual storytelling. This is how you do exposition without doing exposition. Because just from that scene, we haven't even seen Demi Moore, but we know exactly who her character is, who she was, we know exactly what she's been through, and we know where her character is at the start of this film. That is brilliant, brilliant visual storytelling. Like I said previously, show, don't tell.
Don't tell.
With only that phrase that I just said. That's the only phrase that needed to be uttered. And it honestly didn't even need to be uttered, because the visual storytelling was more than enough. Anyways, so we meet our main protagonist. Very, very interesting character. I got very, very heavy Norma Desmond vibes from Sunset Boulevard watching this film. And clearly this film is inspired by that. By the way, this film has a ton of references. At one point, there is the Bernard Herrmann team played from Vertigo.
Oh my God.
We do know, of course, no spoiler, but I mean, clearly there is the duality of women in play here. And that, of course, is one of the most important elements of Vertigo. Of course. There is the 2001 A Space Odyssey opening song, the Richard Strauss one, which plays in one of the funniest and most gruesome scenes I have ever watched, period. Beautiful. And in that same scene, there are references to 1,000 monster films, whether it's Freaks, whether it's Frankenstein, whether it's The Invisible Man, whether it's so many good references. You can tell What's the name of the director? You can tell that Coralie
Qualley
Fargeet
for
is
Farja. Mm.
is heavily, heavily, heavily inspired by classic Hollywood. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Anyways, is this a good film? Clearly it is, right? Why is it a good film? First of all, it's a story about very, very relevant themes. In a world where your image is everything, today, Instagram, everyone showing off photos which are edited, and in a world where plastic surgery has become the norm, this is a very, very relevant film. And the way it analyzes and the way Coralie Fargeet takes a hammer and bashes the idealized Hollywood body image and that toxic environment that is created by very unrealistic body standards is incredible. It's incredible. Like, she takes a hammer and bashes it completely. And even just the way it gets into how women experience aging and the way people look at women who are aging, because this is very much an attack on society and on the way society perceives and how society judges women who are aging, right? And yeah, I mean, it's not subtle. It's anything but subtle. Not at all.
Anything but.
And Fargeet's screenplay is not shy at all at being very obvious in these themes, right? But both visually and in its characters, right? For example, I mentioned Dennis Quaid. There's a scene which shows in the trailer, which is incredible. You see him eating lots of prawns.
Yeah, with the extreme close-ups, right?
With the extreme close-up and those wide shots. Amazing. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. And then at one point he says, "Pretty girls should always smile." I mean, you have these lines, right, which are so fun. So fun in the context of the film, right? They're going to make you laugh, but at the same time, they're going to make you very self-aware.
Cringe as well.
Very, very self-aware. Yeah. I'm going to try and hurry up here. So the dynamic between Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley works so beautifully. Margaret Qualley as the younger, more beautiful, more perfect version, very kind of like idealized body image. There's the cinematography in the, because Margaret Qualley's character is named Sue, right? And her sequences seem like they've cut up straight from an 80s film with very exaggerated kind of camera angles, the way the camera's placed, you know, focusing very much on her physique and on certain parts of her physique. And it's going to make you very self-aware. If you're a male especially, going to make you very self-aware of the male gaze. Clearly, that's one of the main reasons why it's being done. Yeah, she's very good. Lots of very good physicality in her role. But it is honestly Demi Moore. If Demi Moore doesn't get an Oscar nomination for this, for lead actress, I will be upset. I will be
she will be robbed as well.
Probably. It's a
again,
horror.
it's a horror. Oh, horror and Oscars are like they never go together. Anyway,
we expect it. But yeah, even the different filming used for both these characters. For example, when it comes to Margaret Qualley's character, it's very bright lights, very colorful, visual storytelling. Whilst with Demi Moore's character, it feels like very, I don't know how to describe it, very like LED lights, very, how would I describe it? Very dull look. Not a dull look, but more modern, clean, sanitized. That's the word I was looking for. More sanitized look to the image when compared to the more 80s aesthetics of Margaret Qualley's character. So very strong visual storytelling there. Demi Moore is insanely good. The way she acts with her eyes, this scene in particular, her eyes do everything, and you can tell how her mind, she's being affected so heavily by the fact that she's aging and by then what happens with Margaret Qualley's character. And later on, the film becomes absolutely demented. Incredibly well paced for a 2-hour, 20-minute film, beautifully edited. Not once did I check the time. It just flew by, literally flew by. It's a breeze. Camera work is great, but the final 40 minutes of this film is just, I described it in my written review as an ecstasy of stunning gore and wonderfully horrific body horror. It's as Cronenbergian as it gets. And more. and more. Prosthetic work, amazing. Lots of practical effects as well here. I did some research. Nothing at all was done with CGI except for one small bit. Pretty much everything was prosthetic effects and camera, playing with the camera and whatnot. Brilliant stuff. Once more, testament as to why practical is the way to go with these kinds of films. So, I try to keep it as short as possible, but The Substance is a must-watch for any fans of horror movies, any fans of Cronenberg, any fans of all those classic horror movies that I mentioned previously. Great soundtrack, had me, bumping my head up and down constantly. You're going to laugh. You're going to cover your eyes at one scene and then laugh at the next scene and then cover your eyes again in the next scene. Then you're going to feel emotional because of Demi Moore. And then you're going to think, oh my God, Margaret Qualley is amazing. It's a great film. Check it out. Please check it out. Great film. By the way, I forgot to give my rating for History Daughters. My rating for History Daughters is a 4.5. And my rating for The Substance is a full 5 out of 5.
Ooh.
Great film.
So most probably it's going to be in the top 10 at the end of the year.
100%. Challenging for number 1 at this point.
Nice.
Challenging for number 1.
With Dune 2. Can you imagine Dune 2?
Dune 2 and The Substance.
Yes,
Complete opposites.
Wow. Okay. So it's the last part of the show. Thank you for hanging out. We're soon going to finish, and then we're going to raid, hopefully Jacob Jones stays in. We're going to raid Jacob Jones after this one. So hold tight. Andrea with the last but not least review of a local movie. Unfortunately, I would love to suggest it to you guys. We don't know if it's going to be available on streaming on Amazon or not. Would you know, Andrea, or not?
No idea so far.
So up to you, and let's get cracking to the end.
All right. So, Castillo. We've reacted to the trailers. We've commented about it. We've gone through. It looked quite promising, right, from the trailers. Now, from what I've read, apparently Malta has submitted Castillo for the International Feature Film Consideration at the
Oscars. Yeah.
Academy Award. So I think this is a promising start, right? Anyways, the cast, a very strong cast. Mark Doneo, Analise Mifsud, Simone Spiteri, Simone Zammit. There's Rachel Genovese as well there. Recognized her. There's even Frida Kauki as well, I recognize. And some other good actresses. Directed by Abigail Malia. Screenwriter for this is Carlos Da Battista, who obviously adapted the book. There was Mirko Galia, director of photography, and Maxime Durand, friend of the show, Maxime Durand, as the assistant director. And composers Mirko Galia and Analise Mifsud took care of the score for this film. The plot is quite complex. It's very hard to describe without giving spoilers, but more or less, I'm basically giving you the story given by Take Two here, because I didn't want to give any spoilers. But the story by Take Two is that haunted by her family's tragic past, a young woman's quest to reconnect with her estranged mother leads her into a labyrinth of secrets, lies, and a gripping mystery that challenges everything she knows about her identity and family bonds. And I mean, there's lots left unsaid, but it's better left unsaid because I don't want to spoil anything. Anyways, this is a film which deals with a lot of Maltese themes. It's a very Maltese film in the themes that it deals with. Obviously set in the 70s. If you know Maltese history, you know it's probably going to deal with quite a few political issues, right? And lots of political violence, very much present in this film. You could also tell from the trailer. But it also interestingly explores other elements, like, for example, family. I mean, again, family for Maltese people is a very, very important part of our society, right? So obviously it's going to explore family. Loss, very much loss as well, and loss in a family. Mental health is another important issue here. Sexuality and taboo in the 70s, another very important Maltese element, you know, and the taboo in the 70s. And so it's a very brave screenplay, very, very brave screenplay. I haven't read the book by Clara Zappardi, so I don't know how closely it sticks to the book. I think it does stick quite closely to the book. That's the impression I got. It's a very strong cast, like I said. Simone Spiteri and Mark Doneo are the highlights. I would say Mark is a very good actor. He's an amazing actor, and he has a very strong moments in this film. He does have one or two moments where I felt like he was slightly overacting just a little bit in this film, but overall a very strong presence in this film. Very, very, very strong presence in this film. I enjoyed his performance very much. But for me, like I said in my story, Simone Spiteri is the standout. We've already commented about Simone's amazing ability in Richard Starkey's short films, and in one of Richard Starkey's short films. We had commented about she's an amazing actress, and she once more showcases all of her ability in this film, showcasing a character who has been through hell and back, and she shows the kind of like the downfall of her character beautifully, both on a mental level, through her eyes, through her body acting, through the way she reacts to other people. Brilliant stuff. Really good stuff. So the acting, for me, very strong. There are some characters who I didn't really enjoy. I won't comment about them for certain reasons. I'll tell you after, Franco, but I don't want to comment.
Okay, no worries.
But I have a thing when dealing with certain actors. I won't say who, because it will be obvious then who, but I have a thing when reviewing films where I don't criticize something. The direction in this film is great, and I'm going to also mention the cinematography in this film. There is great direction. The composition of the scenes is again very well done in this film. I think this is probably some of the best composition I've seen out of any Maltese film. The placement of the characters, the placement of the camera, the framing of the images, very, very, very strong. Probably its strongest element, together with Simone Spiteri's performance. I love the cinematography, so many different angles. Sometimes I felt like they were just showing off. Sometimes okay, maybe they were thinking, and I just didn't get it. But my interpretation of certain scenes was like, okay, they're showing off. Again, I enjoyed it, so no harm done, of course. But sometimes, I don't think there's any storytelling being done by the cinematography here. It's just they thought that the shot was cool and they wanted to do an top to bottom scene, right? But then, for example, there's a very, 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 very probably my favorite scene where the camera literally goes round and round, showing kind of like Simone Spiteri's character's downfall and her mental health and her mental state in that scene, which is really well done. Really, really well done. So that was great. More of that. I also noticed, I don't know if this was done on purpose, I would imagine it's done on purpose, but I noticed the camera placement was very low when compared to many other films. It feels like someone is sitting down and observing. Now, I don't know if this was done on purpose or this is just my interpretation. I did feel like the camera makes you feel like you're sitting down with the rest of the characters and you are observing the scene sitting down, kind of like seeing the action.
I think it's also I don't know if it's a Spielbergian technique because it makes it from the perspective almost of a child rather than sitting down. It could also be that way as well.
Exactly. It like for example, I read some papers about Ozu. For example, Ozu was another filmmaker well known from shooting from a very low angle, right? Which this has nothing to do with Ozu, right? This is nothing to do with that style. But I'm just mentioning it because he's another director who likes to shoot images from a very low angle, right? And that's probably more to do with the Japanese culture of people, sitting down on the floor. That's more my interpretation. But anyways, but yes, very interesting camera placement and lots of interesting techniques as well. Very much, I think, this film was very much at the forefront for how talented Maltese directors are when it comes to shooting images and creating even beautiful lighting. Lots of very good storytelling done by the lighting here. Yeah, very good stuff on that element. Also, some very
Doc,
good dolly shots as well.
Doc, but you haven't seen my short movie on or Malta Pop's movie. Sorry, no, sorry. Being a dick, sorry.
I will say the one criticism I will say of the camera work. Sometimes there was a bit too many close-ups. Obviously, trying to make it as dramatic as possible, we didn't need as many close-ups. Sometimes you could see the action from a bit further away. It did get a bit distracting at times. But yeah, that panning shot was great. The 360-degree camera, well, not 360-degree because it's constantly moving, right? So I can't count though. The 360 times 10, 360,
Lol, yeah.
3,600-degree turn,
That
maybe.
that's from Ciclo. I think there's a movie that does the same called Ciclo, Vietnamese movie.
Yeah, very good stuff. Also, the production design was very good as well. I love the sets. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. And again, like I said, were very well lit. That's with regard to positives. Now, with regard to negatives, I do have to criticize the screenplay a little bit. Now, I don't know if I'm criticizing the screenplay or I'm criticizing the book. I don't know which one it is, right? But I will say that the screenplay did feel a little too cluttered. There are lots of plot lines here, a ton of plot lines being showcased in this film. And whilst I did enjoy the dynamic between the past and the present, there are lots of pasts. Lots of pasts. Early 70s, mid 70s, something happens before, something happens after, and it is very cluttered. It's a very, very cluttered screenplay. There are also, I believe, too many characters or too many adaptations of that character in the different timelines being showcased. And I did hear quite a few people complaining as they left, and I kind of agree a little bit with them that they found it hard to keep track of all those characters. And I wouldn't say I found it hard, just didn't feel as clean as it could have been, to be honest. So that's one of the weaker elements. I will also say that the 70s storyline was brilliant. The present time storyline felt much weaker, felt much, much, much weaker when compared to the storyline being showcased in the 70s. And you can really feel the sagging quality when the story switches to the present times when compared or contrasted to the 70s storyline, right? I could feel it very much. I'll also say the pacing. The pacing is an issue. It's a very long film. This needed to snip quite a few scenes from here. It's too long, way too long, and lots of scenes could have been cut out. The editing needed some work here. I will say that. The last thing I will say with regard to criticism is the score. Unfortunately, the score, as beautiful as it is to listen to on its own individually, is way too overpowering. And this is a very melodramatic film. We did not need the constant score going on to make it feel even more melodramatic. It's almost exaggerated at times, to be perfectly honest. Almost a little exaggerated. So overall, I will say this is a solid film, very solid film by the whole
Take
team,
Two.
by
Yep.
Abigail Malia, Take Two, Carlos De Battista, Mirko Gallia, who worked on the photography, Maxime Durand. There's the composers as well. Composers made a very good score. Just way too overpowering, man. Cut it out. Cut out 3/4 of that score. We didn't need it. So my rating for Castillo will be a 3 out of 5. I think it's a very solid film, very watchable. I would recommend everyone in Malta go support local talent, and it is a very enjoyable film. And I think it's a very Maltese film, very Maltese film. And with
So-
that, Franco.
Yeah, thank you guys for sticking out. So was amazing. A solid 4-hour stream again from my end. A solid 2-hour stream from Andreas. And by the way, before we leave, before I raid another streamer, what movie would you suggest? Maltese movie would you suggest to our Twitch chatter? Like a Maltese movie.
Oh, Lutsu. 100% Lutsu.
There you go, guys. So this is the
100%.
same movie that we mentioned. So, guys, I'm gonna raid immediately, and I'm gonna say bye also from YouTube. And thanks for hanging by. See you. Hopefully, I think I'm gonna stream tomorrow as well. I'm going to be streaming a marathon as well. I'm going to be editing. So if you want to hang out, come as well and ask questions. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and Please, thanks again, Andrea. Thanks again, all the chats and the support. Peace Fire Now, Ukopnik. Make sure you follow those guys and make sure also to follow Ad Lib Podcast on YouTube and subscribe also to Joe's reviews, right? We usually are a trio of guys, three guys, one mic. Obviously, when it's three cisgender guys, white guys have a podcast. Who knew? Who knew? And but yeah, we are very chill guys. And every Monday, this is going to be my every Monday plan. Some light reacts, and then join Andrea over on the Adler podcast for view.
Thanks a lot,
movies.
Yella. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Yalla. Thanks a lot, Molpa Top Pop and Augustus and Bob for following us. And I think that's it. Always free Palestine as well.
As always. Yeah. So thanks a lot to all our viewers and listeners. It's been a great podcast. I think this was one of our stronger
Yeah.
podcasts. Very, very good podcast. So yeah, been a good time. I like StreamYard. I think we'll keep on using it.
Awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. And it's free. That's good. The only thing is this annoying tag at the top, but
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's whatever.
I mean, it's free. So I'll take it.
Exactly.
So thank you all to all our viewers and listeners. We will be back next week on the Ad Lib podcast. So join us on Franco. You'll stream it again, right? Next week as well.
Yes, for sure.
So join us on the Maltese Leftist on Twitch, which is Franco's YouTube channel, and join us also, obviously, on the Ad Lib podcast on YouTube. Join us there as well. As always, a like and a comment is very much appreciated. A subscription is also free. So please make sure to do all that jazz. And I'll see you guys next week on the Ad Lib podcast. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, guys. Thank you, Febily, for joining. Raiding Jacob. Let's go.